Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly readings. This one's for February 5th through to February 11th. So this week with the astrologies, there's a couple of things, not a lot really going on this week, but a couple of things I'll mention. The Sun this week will come up to make a square with Jupiter. So with that energy, you can expect to feel a bit of some kind of struggle between what you need to do for yourself and what you kind of don't feel like doing. So Jupiter can sometimes make one feel a little bit lazy and not feel like kind of doing much work and just kind of hanging around, relaxing, that kind of thing. So there is a bit of a struggle this week if you have to go to work and get back into your routine. From Monday, you kind of may not feel too excited about it. You may kind of feel like you have more of a laid back energy, or you just want to relax. So that can be a bit of an issue this week. The other thing that I see this week is Venus is changing signs, so that's interesting. Venus is moving out of Aquarius, where it's more focused towards groups and it's a little bit detached when it comes to romance, into much more of a romantic, spiritual energy as it moves into Pisces. So Venus is very well placed in Pisces. It's a very high vibrational energy for Venus, very compassionate energy, and it sort of opens your mind up to inspiration, to creativity, to even maybe thinking about travel, or feeling like you want to do something that's really inspirational. You might want to dabble in your creativity. You might want to get into more spiritual things like tarot cards, or delving a bit more deeply into your spiritual side. With Venus in Pisces, you definitely could feel, if you are a sensitive person, much more sensitive. You could feel more open, spiritually more open to other people's energies, more social. So but you could also equally, while you feel more connected to other people, you could also feel the need to pull back from others and have that quiet time and just be in your own world. So it is an energy where it kind of favors being in your own zone and kind of watching a movie that's really gives you that feeling of escapism, connecting with as I said, more psychic things, more spiritual side of life. Okay, so definitely if you are an intuitive person, or you are a psychic person, it's going to increase your sensitivity, and that happens on the 11th of February, so towards the end of this week. Okay, I think really, like, that's, we have a lot of air energy at the moment. So we have the Sun in Aquarius at the moment. The Moon's in Libra right now. Obviously the Moon changes signs quite frequently, every couple of days. But also Mercury's in Aquarius, which is good. And Venus, as I said, it's in Aquarius, but it's going to be moving to Pisces. So right now, the beginning of the week, very, very airy energy. So it could find that at the beginning of this week, you're very much in your head, thinking in your head space a lot, and in your own individual experience you may feel there are social things going on, or you are connecting with people, but it's a bit detached in that way, or you might feel like you're a bit of an island just in your own world, or you prefer to be kind of in your own zone right now. But as I said, when Venus goes into Pisces, that will somewhat shift. For some people, you become more social with Venus in Pisces. Other people become more, want to be on their own, more quiet time is needed. So the other thing I'll mention is just a thing for next week that I want to give everyone a heads up on, and actually in context to last week, because we've just had last week the eclipse in Leo. So that was very, very powerful energy. For some people, there might have been some drama. There might have been it's very emotionally draining what we've just had with that Leo eclipse with the Moon. So that energy this week kind of, for everyone coming off that eclipse energy, we could be feeling quite drained this week and maybe a bit tired, and hence, having a bit of a struggle also between, our responsibilities, what we have to get done, and also the need to relax. So, I feel like this week there's a very the energy is could be a bit of a slump this week in some ways, but not for everybody, but for some people. Maybe those people that have more fixed energy, like Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, and maybe the Aquarians, but there is quite a bit of energy for Aquarius this week, so with Mercury, Venus and Sun still in Aquarius. So next week, my point is that there's going to be another eclipse. So I will talk about this next week in detail, but I just want to mention there is a new moon partial solar eclipse 27 degrees of Aquarius, February 15th. So I'll mention that and talk about it next week. Let's look at the cards for this week. And I've got the Llewellyn Tarot this week. I haven't used this deck for quite a while. And it's going to be interesting to see what cards come up for this week. Right. 1, 2. This one back here. Is it? No, it's that one. Okay. I'll just move the camera a bit closer. The Empress. Oh, I like that. The Tower. Not a fan of that. What's this one? Oh, the Ten of Cups. Okay. All's well that ends well by the looks of it. Interesting. Midweek we have the Tower. Gosh. And there's looks like some very stormy energy. So, you know, it could be... Sometimes when I get these type of dramatic energies, it could be hinting at things going on globally. So, it could be a storm or like something to do with either a hurricane, a storm, king tides, some kind of crazy weather situations in possibly Northern America or like, you know, the New York side, the East Coast of America. A lot of people from the US do watch my channel, so that's why I mentioned that. And in Australia, we've got the heat coming back this week, so you know, that's not to do with the weather in Australia. It's to do with something happening in the USA there. I feel it could be. The other thing is, you know, I'm skipping straight to this because it's the most, you know, the strongest energy here. The Tower card can also signify, in general, unexpected events. So also globally, there could be something unexpected that happens this week, some kind of tension brewing that peaks. It's the Mars. It represents Mars in astrology. So things related to Mars can happen very quickly and very suddenly. That's another thing. Also, you know, on a more personal note for people, this energy could be a disruptive energy this week, and it could be as simple as someone having an emotional outburst. So someone close to you, someone in your life, having, you know, a difficulty, having an emotional, you know, a bit of a meltdown. So if you have a child that, you know, sometimes can do that, it could also relate to that. It signifies change anyway, and sometimes, you know, and in this reading is actually, even though it could be difficult when it happens, this is very positive here and does indicate that despite some kind of difficulty at some point this week, things are going to be okay. Like, I'm really focused on this couple hugging each other, and there's a sense of relief here. So, yeah, there's some kind of tension, but then relief. The card of the Empress talks about abundance. It talks about rebirth, new projects, new energy coming in. And this definitely could relate to the eclipses that we've got going, because we've just, as I said, we've just had the Leo lunar eclipse, and then we've got the Aquarius one next week. So we're in the middle of the eclipse energy. Also, that relates to the Tower, the card of the Tower, because it means that there's big changes going on. And this energy is pretty powerful. It can create spontaneous change in people's lives, things that just happen very, very suddenly. It could be very personal. It also could be global as well. The Empress card speaks of feminine energy, mother energy, pregnancies. And for some people, it could be a pregnancy this week. This sequence of cards to me is like someone falling pregnant, because it's like, and unexpectedly as well, because of the Tower there. So feminine energy, an unexpected pregnancy, can, you know, finding out that someone's pregnant, and the happy ending card with the Ten of Cups very much has that type of story to it. This is the Venus card, which also Venus and Mars, so it could indicate, definitely could indicate someone finding out about being pregnant, or someone alternatively could be childbirth as well. So there's lots of messages here that I'm getting for, obviously this is a general reading, so a lot of different people will be watching this. So but there's something here that's very spiritual with this card that I feel, you know, her connection to nature. She's very much in a flow of knowingness, you know, and even though this is surprise or shock has occurred, it's actually got a positive, there's something positive to come out of this. So even if it is a challenging situation that you're facing this week, it shows that there's like a silver lining here with the Ten of Cups here. So it's really good news overall. So yeah, I feel quite positive about that, despite some kind of unexpected development. And, you know, sometimes unexpected things are good, because it breaks up the stagnant energy where we sometimes get, you know, in a mode of just being in a routine, and that that Tower card can really shake things up for our benefit. Another card about prosperity, because the I also wanted to get a second card there, so I had to get that one out. It's calling to me. So, wow, another card about prosperity. It says the abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. And a heart card, a message about love and healing and the power of love. So it says, I trust the messages I receive from my heart. All right, this is also about listening to spirit. Don't forget, we've got Venus going into Pisces on the 11th of February, the end of this week. So this is going to make us more aware, more in tune. Sometimes when spirit gives us messages, people will easily discount these messages and think, oh, it's my imagination, oh, it's just my mind. When you have that knowing in that moment, if you have someone that is passed over, I'm just getting this spontaneously right now. If you have somebody that is deceased that you love, that you were connected to, and you hear their favorite song, or you hear, or you see, you know, you find a penny and it's got their year of birth, or the year that they passed away on it, or a significant birthday on it, pay attention to these things. Listening to your heart means not using the logical mind to discount these things that you know are real. Okay, so that's a message for maybe one or two people that, or several people that are trying to connect with loved ones at this time this week. Cultivating prosperity is about having faith in the abundance of the universe, and it very much connects to the Venus card, which is the Empress card that came up in the tarot cards that I pulled. So there is something about abundance coming this week and some kind of luck. So that also could be another aspect of the Sun square Jupiter transit that could, even though it's a square, it can also bring luck in. Okay, so lots of really interesting messages this week and lots of positive messages. Another thing I want to say, this is a relationship energy about forgiveness for some people. So, and about sort of not closing yourself off to love, even if you may have been through a lot of difficulty in your life and your heart is closed off, and you may know this because you feel wary, you've been hurt. This is one of the challenges of being human, is to understand that we need to open our hearts again and trust again, even if we have been hurt. And that's part of a lot of people's you know, lessons and challenges as part of their earthly experience. But you know, to close yourself off and become bitter is to refuse to learn and grow. So even though it's a process and you have to be gentle with yourself, allow yourself to be open again to love and not to give up on love, because love is one of the most powerful forces in this world that we have. Alright guys, so that's the reading for the week. I hope that you got something out of that, and I'll talk to you next week. Bye.